Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Natalie and I want to share with you the little things I get up to living out here on an acreage on the central coast of New South Wales, Australia. This weekend, my husband and I decided to tackle this ridiculously overgrown garden patch in the backyard. The short-term plan is to have a firewood wall along the back, but we really need to clean it up first because honestly, it's a bit crazy in there with weeds and vines tangled up in everything and random logs and stones that we need to remove as well. We've also got a few black bean trees sitting in pots, waiting to be planted down by the creek to help with soil erosion. And then there's our golden duranta cuttings. We tried propagating 50 of them to make a hedge out of, but only about 20 made it. So I think a trip to the nursery is in the near future. We keep going back and forth about what this patch will actually be one day. Maybe vegetables, maybe flowers, or maybe we'll just throw more grass down. But for now, it's the perfect spot for a big firewood stash. So the reason we suddenly need all that space for firewood is because a few months ago we had 4 massive gum trees cut down at the front of our property. They were beautiful, but they were also terrifying. After we moved to this property, we've had some pretty crazy wet weather, which is very unusual in this part of Australia, especially in summer, where that time of year is usually bushfire season. But instead, we've had weeks of torrential rain and cyclone winds. A lot of the times when a storm hits, we'd find massive branches and in the summer, huge pieces of bark having fallen across the road and on our driveway. And on windy nights, I'd be glued to the window watching them sway right above the house. The final straw was when a delivery driver knocked on the door and told us that a branch had just fallen onto his car roof. He was fine, thank God, but that was when we decided that those trees had to go. If not for my sanity during stormy nights, then for the amazing delivery drivers who still go out to deliver our parcels through rain, hail or shine. And trust me, the trees are way taller than they look in the photo. It took a 30-ton crane and a whole crew 2 full days to bring them down, which as you can imagine, left us with a lot of wood. And I'll insert some footage of that here. Some of the logs were too heavy to even move, so they stayed up by the driveway. The rest, my husband had to wheel down one by one on a 2-wheel trolley to stack underneath the carport. I tried lifting a couple and honestly I could barely manage the smallest ones, so I don't know how he did it. Luckily, our neighbour saved the day and lent us their log splitter. At first, we thought we'd just split everything by hand, which sounds hilarious now because that would have taken us about 10 years. Even with the machine, it took my husband 3 whole weekends, sun up to sun down, just splitting logs. And by the end of each day, he was absolutely wrecked. So I really appreciate all the time and effort he's spent on this so that we can have warm nights in the future. So my job has been to stack the wood neatly in the shed and the garden patch, and to make sure my husband always has water and snake lollies within reach. Because we only have 1 pair of earmuffs, I'm wearing my noise cancelling headphones, but they're probably not ideal, so I really don't recommend. As sad as it was to see those gum trees go, it's been such a relief not worrying about branches falling anymore. Also as a bonus, the wood itself is this soft pinky peach colour which is so beautiful. You might think the amount of wood we have is a bit excessive, but firewood takes at least a year to season. And if you're running a fire all day throughout the winter, you go through it way faster than you'd think. So hopefully all this firewood will last us for many years to come.
such a lie. It's good. Something about it changed my state of mind. I've been redesigned. So open your eyes before you stand past the sky. All of your dreams are passing by.
There's also some unexpected perks to having all this firewood all over the place. The property has an earthy, woody smell to it. On the coldest of mornings and warmest of afternoons, you get these wafts of something like a mixture of eucalyptus and vicks and just foresty smells, all in the air. And it's honestly one of those little things that make acreage living so special.
She's like such a lie.
Doing work like this really brings you back to the simple and basic things in life. There's just you, the work, and the rhythm of doing what needs to be done. Moving, chopping, stacking, and seeing the results of your hard work right in front of you. It strips away all the stress, the distractions, and unnecessary things, especially in a world where so much of our time is spent looking at a screen. Suddenly, even something as simple as chopping and stacking wood feels grounding and surprisingly satisfying. And I feel like it's a reminder for me of how rewarding it is to be fully present with the basics, away from all the things that cause you stress, even if it's for a little while.
She's got a way of keeping it cool. It separates the space between me and the blue. And I've tried to exist in other ways than this, but everything leads back to where she is. So open your eyes before you stand past the sky. All of your dreams are passing by. Wake up and meet somebody. Yes, without the world to get a chance. Find the girl you love. Life's going on, oh, I don't know if fast. Oh, I don't know if fast. Oh, I don't know if
It's been a few weeks, the garden patch is now cleared and ready to stack high with wood, and it actually feels like the space has a purpose now. We were really lucky to get a good run of sunny days in between all the downpours, so while we worked, the ducks and chickens were out roaming, the kookaburras and magpies were swooping in for worms, and there we were, headphones and earmuffs on, log splitter roaring away. Definitely the noisiest part of the landscape. But honestly, it felt kind of like everyone, us included, was just making the most of the warm sunny weather.
it's her. Nothing else makes me feel high.
One of my favourite things since moving to an acreage has been watching just how quickly nature takes advantage of change just outside my doorstep. Turning over all that soil in the garden patch revealed so many earthworms, and for weeks afterwards the birds have been flocking back to the patch every morning. It's like our messy project accidentally became a little buffet for the local wildlife. And every time it pours and large puddles form down the paddock, the neighbourhood ducks all congregate, splashing and swimming like they've just been given their own private pond. The cleared garden space has also given us a chance to imagine what this corner of the backyard could be in the future. Right now it's a wall of firewood, but standing there I could picture a proper garden, maybe some raised vegetable beds, or even a flower patch that brings in more bees and butterflies. For now, we'll see how the firewood fits, but it's nice to dream about the possibilities when you have all that space.
Space between me and the blue.
And I have to admit, there's something strangely satisfying about looking out the window and seeing that neat stack of logs. Every single piece has been hauled, split and stacked by us, and I already know it will feel deeply satisfying when we're sitting by the fire each winter that's to come. It makes me appreciate just how much effort actually goes in to the simplest of comforts, like being warm on a cold night.
Open your eyes before the sun across the sky. All of your dreams are passing by. Wake up and be somebody. Yes, without the world to give a chance.
And these are some progress photos of the log pile that my husband has been splitting behind the scenes. I might make a future video of us clearing this pile of firewood when we get to it. So while this project started off as just tidying up a garden patch, it's turned into something that feels much bigger. A reminder of how much work goes into maintaining a property, how generous neighbours can be, how resilient my husband's back is, and how even the smallest changes in the backyard ripple out into the wildlife around us. And that's probably one of the reasons I love sharing and documenting these moments. If you've made it till the end, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed a little peek into life out here on the acreage.
Nothing